We go. Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode 215. We are reviewing episodes 25 to 28 of Kamen Rider Double. So, the first two episodes involves puppets. Well, interesting enough, it's like, oh, there's a new gadget, so Philip, of course, is working on it, and then all of a sudden, you have Aiko, this is their focus one for her, where she's talking to a little girl, and the thing is, she is the only one who sees this little girl, and then she goes to see a critic over, various attacks by this mysterious doll. Yeah, and they do in fact fight this doll. Yeah, Excel shows up by complete randomness, and, they slice the doll. And you think, oh, is that the dead bot? Not really, no. He finds out about it because, well, they go to the crime scene. Oh, look, there's a doll back in the box, mysteriously. And then he follows Aiko to a junkyard. Somehow he believes her, which is interesting because basically the detectives work underneath Ryu do not believe her, but he does. And basically, well, you probably think, is this a sign of the fact that Aiko might be falling in love with Riku? Possibly, yes. Interesting enough, in the episodes he's appeared in, he's never once ever been whacked with one of her shoes. Well, one of the detectives has been whacked in his shoes. I'm surprised he didn't fall arrested for assaulting an officer. But he probably did it because she needed info. And probably because if she dare arrest her, basically Double would be very angry with him. And plus, also, he doesn't know the fact Double really is this guy. So, then they suppose, oh, is this that butt? Nope, there's an actual puppeteer. Yeah, it turns out, basically, the puppeteer is actually this writer who got criticized by writers who claimed he didn't love his daughter. And apparently, his daughter died a month prior to the events of this episode. So I'm guessing she must have died some point prior to this, because between two parters, it seems like a week passes by. So I'm guessing probably about 8 episodes ago. Yeah, she got hit by a car. This little girl. And then by complete randomness, his fog opens up and he gets kidnapped by the doctor who has weather. And modifies his puppeteer thing to at one point control the daughter of the head of the museum, Wakata, who's also a DJ, and proceed to have her. This is interesting because he's looking for Aiko, so has her proceed to destroy the office door of the detective agency, and somehow follow Philip to the workshop, where she busts down that door. And this is kind of weird, though, when he's brainwashing her. Is he's using her human form back in the hospital, and eventually when the hole is broken, she's like, "What am I doing here?" And then she proceeds to leave. And Philip is probably wondering, did what the bad guys found out basically where we are? It's like a Waka does not know where the heck she is, so she proceeds to leave. She, of course, does not see Philip, per se. Philip does not see who this is. It is basically Wakata in her clay doll form. And later on, it's shown that she gets a little bit angry and actually breaks a teacup. And her father is like, something wrong? No, just my drive is acting really weird. As being modified by the doctor, Isuka, which of course now apparently her sister has become attached to him for some reason. I should point out the interesting about this guy. This doctor is 42 years old. Seiko is 30. 12-year difference. And he's very creepy around her, just examining her Depop form. It's she's like, you have no interest in me in my non-transform form, do you? He's like, no. I only like your transform form. I am surprised that he doesn't take the time to Like, I'm sure basically he's like touching her arms, basically a little bit of her legs. I'm surprised he had taken the time to, like, he's very close to, he could do it, but he doesn't do it. He does not touch her chest. Nope, he does not touch that. He doesn't touch her chest, doesn't touch her butt, mostly touching mostly her shoulders, her arms, her legs. I think at one point he's caressing her face, but never her chest or rear end. He does not touch that at all. And she's what kind of just enhancing Wakata. And then, of course, basically the very next two-part, or after Puppeteer is defeated, then we have Magic Show, and the apprentice, like, I recognize who it is right away. And like, oh, wow, who's this pretty girl? It's the actress playing out in Hurricane. I'm like, wow, 2 Sentai alumni in this show. Versus the actress played Jasmine from Deca Ranger. Now it's the actress who played Nanami. And I agree with basically show with this. She's a knockout. No denying that. Because apparently at the time when this came out, she was like only like 26. And currently she's 41. She looks fantastic for her age. Also, the actress who plays the counterpart in Ninja Storm, Sally Martin, is 40. And she also looks great for her age too. Yeah, and it almost seems as though Show has basically obviously got a thing for her. And like, she's a dip pop, but not no more. She looks like some weird monster. She just goes invisible. You're like, really? So basically, her stuck in her body gets fixed later on, and of course, Ryu basically doesn't want to. Well, Show's obviously got a thing for her, and then of course, basically, Ryu meets Isuka, and then we mention his last name. Is like, oh, you're Ituska's son, and of course, Ryu's like, how do you know my father's name? And he's like, because I killed him. I also killed. He's like probably not saying this, but he's like, I also killed your mom and sister too. Yeah, this is the guy he's looking for all this freaking time. And then he transforms, and they proceed to have a fight. And then, of course, basically Show, because options left, goes to, in the heat metal mode, goes to overdrive, which nearly kills him. Philip, of course, is okay, but not Show. Show basically has got injured chest and hand because of this. But he'll live. So, yeah, and by the way, Philip once again does the Fang Joker form, which is the white and black one, because if he's basically, where Show basically is controlling the body, it's green, and it's like Cyclone and Joker. This one's basically Fang Joker. So, then of course, basically, like, he does get freed. Fights him for a while. At one point, do his double kick, which I'm sure this is probably a nod to the double Raider kick of the Double Raiders from the 70s, which really cool the fact they did this. They beat it, and of course, prior to this, they actually did free, well, the actress was not in her character, where Ryu did briefly kill her for a matter of about maybe like a minute, and then used the engine to basically shock her, but stopped her heart briefly, takes the memory and breaks it. They battle him, and of course, nearly beat him. Oh, and also because the fact they discover where he works, he came back to the hospital, so he stays at the family house, and he stays in the bedroom of Seiko's ex-husband. Actually, more like basically she's a widow now because she killed her husband. Because he dared to leave the family. And we do see the fact it's actually his robe because it's basically his cutthroat on it. Which that was the name of the guy who died back in episode 18. By the way, this is episode 28. It's been like 10 episodes since his death. And this two-parter was the first time he's been mentioned since then. I don't think even Show knows the fact he's dead. So, oh, by the way, despite the fact she was a user of the memory drive, she's not arrested because technically, she's probably by far the first memory user to not commit any crimes. She didn't harm anybody except herself. She just wanted to help her father with disappearance. Or basically, her form is now a monster, just her becoming invisible. At one point, and then when she restored normal, and of course Ryu's there, and of course everybody's on all the typewriter thing, and then of course she has a thank you, proceeds to give him a kiss on the cheek, and apparently Eiku is not jealous of the fact that, well, this woman just kissed the guy she likes. And here's the thing about this: unlike other people who were previously dead bots who were defeated at the two-parters, she does come back in a couple movies. You're like, really? She comes back? Yeah, she does. Heck, she even comes back in this sequel animates this thing. Yeah, she does. So, expect to see her back soon. It is interesting, though, this woman, despite her getting a little bit older, this woman barely ages. Like, I saw her basically in a film that came out 2 years ago, where she was only 39 when the movie came out, like age-wise. But she looked fantastic. Like, there's no denying some Japanese women basically just, how should I put this, age really well when they get older. Yeah, they age really well. They turn out really good when they get older. An example of this is Maruko Sango. What you see here is basically Witch Fedora, who was also Reaper Pulse on Power Rangers, who was only in her 50s. And I agree with Barbara Good. She looked really good for her age, which no denying for that. Yeah. But otherwise, though, fantastic 4 episodes. And I only have about 8 more to go. And then officially, it's not another pause again like it was before. Oh no. This time when I reach episode 36, it's officially my break with the series. Yep, my official break. And then I'll head back to watching Lupin Ranger with Panther Ranger. Not for 12 episodes this time, like in the case of this. This time it's only 10. And then that goes on break too. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up we have is Isekai Quartet. Okay, next go. Bye.